Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be talking about 8 different types of bullet journal weekly spreads. So if you ever felt tired of your current layout or you just wanted to try something new, then I hope this video can give you lots of ideas and inspiration for your next bullet journal weekly spread. We're gonna start with some really easy bullet journal weekly spreads, and the first one that I'm going to create is a vertical bullet journal weekly spread. And rest assured that the spreads are gonna get more fun and unique as we go along, so make sure you stay until the very end. Also, for all of the spreads that I'm going to be using, all you need to recreate it is a black pen, a white pen, and a color of your choice. So in here, I'm going to be using the Sakura Pick My Micron pens, the white Sakura Jelly Roll, and also a pink Crayola Super Tip pen. Everything is going to be linked in the description below, and everything is really affordable. So this is going to be perfect for any bullet journal beginner that doesn't want to spend a lot of money to get started with bullet journaling. And you don't have to use the same exact pens that I use. These are just some of my favorites if ever you're looking for a new pen. This spread is really easy to create. All you have to do is divide your page into 3 equal sections to have 6 columns for your bullet journal weekly spreads. So that way you have 1 column for each day of the week and you have 1 for the weekend as well. The next bullet journal weekly spread that we're gonna create is also another really easy one, and it's gonna be a horizontal weekly spread. And as you guys can see, whenever I want to create any circles in my bullet journal, I like to use the back of any pens or highlighters lying around so I can create a really even circle. And so what you can do to create this spread is just to divide the page into 7 equal sections for each day of the week. Personally, I prefer using horizontal spreads versus a vertical one. I find it a lot easier to write my tasks horizontally, and let me know in the comments down below if you prefer a horizontal or a vertical weekly spread. The next bullet journal weekly spread that we're gonna create is a 1-page weekly spread. Now, I absolutely love using 1-page weekly spreads. I think it's super efficient to create, and it also prevents me from overloading my week with writing down too many tasks. And I also have another video dedicated to 1-page bullet journal weekly spreads, so feel free to check that out if you also feel that a 1-page weekly spread is more efficient for you. And whenever I'm gonna be writing with a white pen over black ink, I want to make sure that the black ink completely dried out first. So what you'll see me do is I would do a lot of my black ink first and really give it the time for it to dry before I go over it with any white pen. This is so important because I really hate it when the white pen smudges with the black ink and then it just mixes into this gray color. The next bullet journal weekly spread that we're gonna create is a 2-page weekly spread. This is perfect for you if you have a lot more tasks going on, or you wanna also write some notes throughout the day, or even include a really empowering quote to help you get through the week. And as you can see here, I would create 3 boxes on one page and 4 boxes on the next page. And just as a reference, the boxes that I created here are 11 squares by 10 squares, and that really sets up the page really evenly. And in the empty space that I have in the top left, I'm gonna use the space to write a quote that really motivates me. And the quote that I chose is going to be, "You can do things imperfectly, or you can do nothing perfectly." And obviously, in the time that I choose a quote writing about imperfection, I obviously make a spelling mistake for it. So we're just gonna ignore that and let it be. But this quote really speaks to me, and it really helps me to stop procrastinating. It really helps me get out of that analysis paralysis and know that done is better than perfect. I also like to create a little section to note any upcoming deadlines or events that's coming up next week, and it's really helpful to have during those really busy months. So the next bullet journal weekly spread that we're gonna create can also be called a running task list, a running weekly, or even the Alastair method. If you have a lot of tasks that might be repetitive throughout the week, or if it's not really due for a certain date, then this method might be really helpful for you. You can split the top column by the days of the week or project types, and I'm going to show you an example for both. This is really helpful for you to see all of the tasks that you need to do related to a certain project, or if it's all due for the same day. And I know it might not look that intuitive at first to set up, so if you want me to create another video explaining how you can use this Alastair method for your bullet journal, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. The next bullet journal weekly spread that we're going to create is also going to be really quick and easy to set up. I like to call this the mind map weekly spread. And if you feel like you don't have the time to create a structured weekly, but you still want to be able to have a glance at all of the tasks that you need to do, this is a really great way to set it up. And you can classify it by each day of the week or also by activity. And so as you can see, I also split it up by school, home, or work. The next bullet journal weekly spread that we're going to create is a circle center weekly spread. If you notice that there's certain trackers that you like to include in your bullet journal, but having them on a separate page can make you forget about filling out those trackers, this is a really great spread idea where you can also incorporate a tracker in the middle of the weekly spread. To create a spread like this, I really like to use a duct tape because you can get the outer ring and the inner ring by tracing the duct tape. Once you created the circle outline, you can then split that into 4 equal sections, and what I like to do is then color the parts of the circle with a certain color as it relates to the tracker. In this example, I'm using it as an energy tracker, so I'm gonna color it depending if I'm feeling low energy or high energy that day. Now the next bullet journal weekly spread is actually my absolute favorite, and it's the Dutch door weekly spread. And what makes the Dutch door weekly spread so unique is that we're actually gonna cut a piece of our bullet journal page so that it can show a little bit of the next page. And this is the perfect spread to create if there's a section that you want to be visible throughout different weeks. So for example, in this weekly spread, I'm gonna also create an energy tracker that I want to be visible throughout the month. And before we get into cutting the page, we're just gonna create the 7 boxes that we need for our weekly spread. And with the little spaces that we have, I'm also gonna include a little quote to empower me and a little section for me to write my notes as well. If ever you don't want to include a quote or you don't need a space for your notes, you can also replace any of these with any drawings, any pictures, or even the calendar of the month as well. So because my pen was running low on ink, it took me quite a bit of time to color in all of the headers for the boxes, and I find that in situations like this, I get a cleaner look whenever I would color in smaller strokes rather than using big strokes throughout the headers. Another quick tip that I have when it comes to using a white pen over black ink is sometimes I like to just keep another page for me to test out the white ink to make sure that there's no leftover black ink on my white pen. And now we're ready to cut our bullet journal, and I know it's super scary at first to cut your bullet journal. The first time I created a Dutch door spread, I felt like I was committing a bullet journal sin. My bullet journal notebook is my baby, and so it felt so wrong to cut a page out of it. But once I did, the Dutch door bullet journal weekly spread definitely became my favorite to create. I hope this video was able to give you a lot of ideas and inspiration for your bullet journal. If you're a new bullet journalist, you can also download my free bullet journal starter guide so you can get more inspiration and layouts from there as well. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can feel inspired, stay functional, and practice self-love with bullet journaling together. I hope to see you in another one of my videos. Thank you so much for watching.